Mauta naman ta. Yummy, Alep. Mix, mix, mix.
Eh, basta overload.
Where's your fork?
Takot.
Flies in my coat.
Ada pilit na lang. Sige kan handa to na. Sige.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay.